Hi and welcome back to Mamalog Podcast EC YouTube channel. My name's Katie, I live in Cardiff. This is my new baby boy. He is 6 weeks today. I had planned to do our EC journey week on week and start from birth. That did not happen. We have been in hospital for 4 weeks since he was born. 3 weeks of that was spent in NICU, which is neonatal intensive care unit. So it's been a really hard time. We have been home for 2 weeks now, which has been lovely, and we've been practicing EC, so I thought I'd update you all with how it's going. We did have one day in the hospital when he was 4 days old where I asked my husband to go and get the potty because he had a little bit of a sore on his genitals, and I didn't want poo and wee going in his nappy and making it worse. Like, it was actually bleeding, like it was really not nice. So when I got the potty, it was the most perfect day. From 8 a.m. till 4 p.m, no wee or poo went in a nappy. It all went in the potty. I just couldn't even believe it, 4 days old. And the way we managed to do that was he would breastfeed, he would fall asleep at the boob, and then as soon as he'd wake up, I would just put him on the potty and he'd wee and poo and everything. Just give him nappy free time while he was awake. And then when he needed to feed again, and then he'd fall asleep at the boob, and then so on. So we just did that all day. I was just in the hospital on the bed. It was just me and him. And that's what we did. And it worked really well until 4 p.m. He had his routine observations. And that's when everything went to shit and we went to NICU. I will be talking about that experience on my podcast if you have any interest. I haven't done it yet because I feel like I just need some time to process what happened. It was a really hard time, but that will be available. Mamalog Podcast, give us a follow and then you'll see when it comes on. But I was so amazed with that day, like 4 days old, what a legend. Really only started doing it properly though the last 2 weeks since we've been home. It wasn't possible in the hospital because there was tubes and wires and everything coming from him. I could, it was hard enough to pick him up, let alone start doing EC. When we've been home, we've been actually mainly using this one, which I didn't expect with a boy. So you sort of hold it like this, and his bum is there, and then it sort of just like catches it more. If you find that it's one of those ones where it goes over the top, you just hold his little willy down and it all goes in. Or it sprays everywhere and you learn from that experience, and it's almost like water. They're so hydrated at this age. I don't think it matters that much. Certainly not in our house. Issue I've had with this one, which I kind of did have with my first baby, but I'm not sure I fully realised it at the time, is when they're on this one and their bum's here and they're facing this way, they use their little hands to touch this. And if I do use this one, I'm being very on it with disinfecting it straight away. But my first child had conjunctivitis a couple of times in his first few months, first like 6 months of his life. And I'm wondering if it's because he was touching this, which makes me feel awful parent alert, shit mum's club. But this is why I'm not really using this one so much. It did catch the wee really well, but I've got to grips with this one anyway, and it's much smaller, much more easy to handle. The other one I have been using is the IKEA potty. I should have it down here to show you, but I'm not that organised. The IKEA potty, the insert, if you take that out and just put it between your legs, that's a brilliant potty, and again quite small to carry around. So they're my potties of choice at the moment. I have also been, as soon as he wakes up in the morning, that's when he does his biggest number 2. I've noticed that's his like pattern. And if I don't have a potty upstairs, I will just put him over the bath and he does his big wee and it just all goes down the drain. I don't want to do that with every single bowel movement, but an odd one when it's just like liquid anyway, when they're at this age, I don't have a problem with. So if you're ever thinking, oh my gosh, I'm on my own, I don't have my potty, are you close to the bathroom, just do it there if you feel comfortable with that. He seems to be really good with EC at the moment. Everything can change, so just at the moment. He does also have an older brother, like I've said, so life is a bit chaotic and we don't do it 24/7, but on the whole he's really good, and he hasn't done a big poo in his nappy many times at all since we've been home from hospital. He seems to sort of like feel more comfortable on the potty. Maybe it's the gravity because he's upright, maybe he's kind of waiting for it, maybe we're offering enough that that's when he does it. I don't know, but that's how it's going for us at the moment. His wheeze, I would say, are every 15 to 20 minutes. definitely not catching them all, don't worry. You don't have to be putting them on the potty that often. We certainly are not. But with those times when I'm like trying to figure out when he's having his wheeze, I'm sort of checking, are you dry? Let's try. And it's sort of every 15-20 minutes, which is a good thing to know, I suppose, about them at each stage and when their bladder gets bigger and stronger and can hold more. Carrier time is what this baby loves, and it's also really good because he just sleeps in there. So I take him out the carrier, he wakes up, potty time, and 9 times out of 10 his nappy is completely dry and clean. So that's a really good way. And also if he wakes up in here and fusses, that's a really good chance that either he wants to be fed or he wants to go on the potty. But both of those things kind of go hand in hand. Like if he feeds and then put him on the potty straight after, this is normally something. So this baby, and I believe most newborns, is really, really good at the signal wee. So he'll have a wee, then he'll do a poo, and then a little wee at the end to tell you he's finished with all his pooping. The other thing that I've noticed he does, and my older son did this a little bit too, is just before he has a wee, he'll let out a little cry. Now if he cries for it lasts and lasts, I know that's not, he just doesn't want to be on the potty. Most likely he wants to be fed again. So if he cries more than a few seconds, I'll take him off and put him on the boob. You can feed and be on the potty at the same time, but for some reason this time I'm not that comfortable doing that, and he tends to mainly only do his business after we finish feeding anyway, so that kind of works for us. This little cry and then he does a wee, I've got to know that's kind of a signal for him. And I'm sure he does that when he's like in his bouncer and just anywhere he is. He does this little cry and then a wee comes. So that's a really good signal. However, I do find I wanted to be more confident in taking the potty out and pottying him wherever we go and just being like, this is what we do with my baby and I know what I'm doing. I trust myself and not kind of worry about other people's judgments. But it's that cry that's getting me. I think when people see him on the potty and he does a cry, they think, what's she doing to her baby? And I'm really worried that they're thinking I'm not a good mum. Hopefully, if anyone's listening and they're having the same, crisis of confidence, then you're not on your own. But I'm not quite there yet. I'm trying to get better. I'm hoping. So at the moment, it is March. Next month it's going to be warmer. I'm hoping when we go out it'll be like the park, and I won't mind pottying him outside. It's more in other places, like inside places, I'm a bit more shy, I guess. But we will get there, and I hope that's been helpful. My 6-week roundup. I'll be back next week for the 7 weeks, 8 weeks. I'll probably go up to 12 weeks and then we'll do monthly. But if you've got any questions, anything you think I could learn, just put it all in the comments below and I will see you soon. Bye.